You know, I've been watching a lot of these passport bros uh, actually living their best life overseas. Thailand, Brazil, Europe, Italy, mostly in Thailand though. It seems like that's one of the cheapest places and safest place that a lot of passport bros prefer to go. And if you watch them over the years, they can tell you all the great things, of course, all the women, and all the travel and different places they get to go, and it's just wild, really, really wild. A lot of these guys over there living their best life for little to no money, and of course, women are a big part of it. But a lot of them do tours. They go to islands. They just enjoy their life as young men, and now some young women living in Thailand. And it's all good and it's really cool to see. But when it goes wrong, it really goes wrong. And that's when things start to get a little more not so fantasy land in Thailand or anywhere overseas, really. And because if you're over there living bare minimum, money wise, that's great. Everything is cheaper. You don't need as much money. But then something like this happens. You have an accident, you need insurance. You have a hospital stay. You got to pay for equipment. And their insurance system doesn't work the same as ours. From what I understand, a lot of places in Thailand, you pay on the spot. If you ain't got money to pay, that's a problem. And a lot of times, the courts and everything uh, leans toward the local. Yeah, and recently Thailand had an earthquake. Thailand didn't actually have the earthquake. The earthquake was actually in Myanmar. I believe I said that right. And the feeling is just like these guys felt. Like, what do? You're in a high rise, 17, 20 stories up. And it's no longer just fun and games at that point. It starts to feel like, you know, is Thailand really a place that you want to be? And a lot of people, not a lot, but some people are leaving Thailand. And I think that's probably a mistake because really and truly, you could be in LA and have an earthquake hit. And when you really think about it, there really was only one building that fell down. The rest of these buildings held up pretty good for 7 point something. A 7 point something friggin' earthquake. Now, this isn't funny, but the way these guys responded is almost like a movie that the Wayans brothers would make. But I can fully understand, even though I've never been in that situation. These guys are horrified. But then that starts to make you wonder, are these passport bros and other people over here really, really ready for living versus just touring a country like Thailand? Because I don't think Thailand was really meant for you to come over there and live. Like, you can't make money. You know, you can't You can't make money in the country. You can't have a job. It's designed for tourism, not designed for long-term stays and people that just want to live there forever. That's just not what it's designed for. And that's just not from the earthquakes, but just, the visa requirements. Yeah, you can stay, a year to 5 years. But all of that just shows that if you want to live in Thailand, you really got to be prepared. Like these guys riding these motorbikes. I mean, this guy, he rode the motorcycle, ended up getting a ticket right before this accident, not realizing that he needed an international license to ride a motorbike. Well, they're not going to tell you that. And you need to have a helmet on. They'll rent the motorcycle to you because it's about tourism. And, most tourists will rent the thing for a week or so. They get a ticket whatsoever. But if you living in Thailand, you got to know those kind of things, man. No fault of his, in my opinion. Well, I mean, I guess it is kind of his fault because you didn't do your research. But if you living in Thailand and you ride motorbikes and whatnot, you got to know that kind of stuff. And just because Thailand is cheap, that doesn't mean it's always the best place for you to go and try to live. If you're going to live in Thailand, you probably need the same kind of cash and insurance that you would have here in the States, just on a lower level. In other words, if here in the States, you would try to have $20,000 or $30,000 stacked away. In Thailand, you probably need to have $5,000 or $6,000 stacked away, just for stuff like this. Thailand is great. I would love to visit Thailand, but I don't think I would live there, not unless I had a decent amount of money. Not a ton, not the same as I need here in the States, but a decent amount of money. A lot of these guys are going to get ran out of Thailand because they just don't have the funding. It's okay that everything is cheap for somebody that just wants to stay there for a month or two, but trying to live there forever off of YouTube dollars, I don't know if that's a good idea. Because these kind of events will cost you money.